Hey, Floxy community, I have a couple big announcements down below in the section box. Is one, before we get to Carrie's success story, is I've created an online university, a Floxed online university, and I'm giving this content away for free. It's all my content in my course. There's a link below. All you need to do is click that link and make an account, and you can have my Flox E-course for 1 week. There's hundreds and hundreds of hours of content in there, and this is the content that when people come to me and work with me one-on-one, that I direct them to very specifically. So all the content is yours to have to try and move your needle from flaxed to healing. The second thing is I've also created a Floxy group, a group that I want to move the needle on and get people in there to kind of forward thinking the Floxy community. And if you're suffering, there's a link down there for that. So with that being said, here's Carrie's success story. He's a college professor and had major brain problems, brain fatigue, and he also had pins and tingling in his hands. So I hope you enjoyed this success story. Take care, and where there's help, there's hope.
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Well, welcome to the call, and I appreciate you coming on the Zoom call and sharing your story about being Flox. It's kind of interesting when I get on the call. I never see anybody's face.
Yeah.
My face, and then it's kind of like when you get a call, what's this person going to look like? So it's kind of interesting when I do these Zoom calls, like, oh, this is what this guy or gal looks like.
Yeah, I guess it is different for you because I've watched like a ton of your videos, so I feel like I already know you and have seen you. But I guess it is the first time for you.
Yeah, people can see me on YouTube and all that stuff, so they're kind of familiar with me. So, but anyway, I appreciate you being on the call, man. You make a big impact into the community, the Floxy community, and basically, really the purpose of today is just to kind of go over your success story and give the community hope. Where I know before you found me, I think you were searching for answers, and we're just going to kind of go over some stuff on how bad your case was and those kind of things. But really, that's really the purpose of today, is just to talk as two human beings and just see how we can help the community, and hopefully this video helps someone and makes an impact on someone.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, should I?
Yeah, okay, so maybe just start with like how you got Flox, that kind of thing, because I think for men, this is really 90% of men that are Flox the way you got Floxed.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, they definitely need to like rethink the protocol, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was having some abdominal pain. Went to the doctor. It's been going on for weeks, not something and so I figured I better go get it checked out. And so I went, and they, I just went to one of those quick doctors, until I could get to see my family practitioner, I guess doc in the box or whatever. And so he ran, checked my abdomen, pressed down. You could tell I was experiencing some pain. Did a urine sample. Came back cloudy. Thought he saw some blood in the urine. So I think he panicked at that point because I could tell his demeanor changed, and he was like, this might be, prostate issue.
Okay.
So he guessed it might be prostatitis, I think is what he said. And
yeah, I mean that's what most guys come to me. I mean, if they've been Flox, it's been prostatitis.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to send it off for a more comprehensive workup to a lab. I guess they couldn't handle that. They send the specimen off, urine specimen off. But in the meantime, he prescribed me something called Levaquin or levofloxacin.
Yep.
750 milligrams per day for 10 days, which now I know. I didn't know anything about it then, but now I know it's a pretty big dose of it. And so that was a Wednesday. So I took the first dose that evening. By the third dose, by Friday, I was feeling, maybe I hadn't even taken the third dose yet. By Friday, I was just experiencing all these weird symptoms. I was just feeling really, really anxious, like the world was coming to an end. Just irregular heartbeat, heart just racing. Just a whole lot of anxiety. And so I kind of panicked at that point, and I called back, and I think it was Saturday morning. I called back, either Friday afternoon, and I asked them if I could stop taking it because, and I talked to one of the nurse practitioners, and she said, "Hold on for a second." She went and she came back. She said, "Yeah, the labs came back negative, so it's okay to stop taking it. So apparently I didn't even need it anyway.
Yeah, and that's like so common, man. It's just like, yeah, we think you have prostatitis, you just take it, and then boom, by the time the test back comes back negative, you're already damaged.
Right.
Like this is such a classic example when it comes to being flaxed. Same thing with women with urinary tract infection. So maybe give the audience, because I wrote some notes here, what exactly was happening in your body? Like how bad was your problem? So if you can give the community, like, what happened to Carrie and how bad your symptoms were.
Oh, it was horrible. It was the worst I've ever felt. I think it was a combination of it attacking. It feels like it was attacking your entire body at once. I'd already talked about the mental and emotional issues. So it made you feel anxious, anxiety, like just nervousness for no reason. Even like I was driving and I just kind of panicked, like I was going to run off the road or something. I'm like, I could think, that it wasn't reasonable to feel that way, but at the same time, I could not feel that way. And so, the rapid heartbeat, heart's just racing, difficult to catch your breath. I even went to the emergency room and they put me in the COVID protocol because I mentioned, my breath, it was hard to catch my breath. So like I was in a room, quarantined from everybody else and everything. They hooked me my chest up to the machine and to check for see if I was having a heart attack, anything like that. But their tests were coming back
Fine.
Like fine, yeah. So that was even more frustrating because they weren't verifying what I was feeling, I guess. So some of the more physical symptoms is I started experiencing tingling in my feet and my fingertips, like pins and needles. My ankles were sore, which I've read some people had more,
like Achilles tendon pain,
yeah,
tears and stuff like that.
I didn't get that, thank God, but the ankles were sore. And then cranial pressure and just fatigue and dizziness, disoriented. I never fell down or anything, but sometimes it felt like I might. So it seemed like it was just attacking my entire nervous system, my body physically, my heart, brain, everything. And so.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that your heart was like racing and pounding it. Like I think sometimes like the fluoroquinolones affect the brain tissue and it causes people to be like in a, like what they call a sympathetic drive, like you're trying to run away from a tiger. It's like you're all stressed, your heart's racing, you're sweating. I mean, you were getting poor sleep too, right? It was affecting your sleep as well, right?
Couldn't sleep at all. I think it was more with the heart racing. I couldn't relax enough to sleep. It was just the heart racing. Like every time I would just even try to get some sleep during the day. It was just crazy. I thought I was going. I was like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around. It's just,
yeah, you were that scared.
Yeah, I went back to the emergency room, went twice. I think I got prescribed the medication on June 10th. And by June 12th, I stopped taking it. So I only took it for 3 days, the 10, the 10 pills. And before the month of June was over with, I'd been to the emergency room twice, been to the doctor a couple of times. Second time they did a CAT scan on my head. But he was he said, we don't see a tumor or anything. So, not that they were dismissive, they just weren't finding anything that they thought would cause the symptoms, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not, I mean, you go to the doctor and as you say, I've been damaged by these fluoroquinolone medications. I mean, they're going to think that you're crazy and just like,
Well, I didn't know enough at that point to say, to even make the connection for them. I was just, I don't know what's going on. I did, they have you write down all the medication you've taken and things like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know enough to make the connection between what I was experiencing and the medication.
Yeah, and you need your brain. You're actually a professor, right, at a university, or you have a doctorate degree? You have a doctorate degree? I mean,
no, I teach history. I mean, okay. At a college. So absolutely no knowledge of science or medical anything like that. But history is what I teach you.
Yeah, right. Okay. So just kind of give the audience, like, how bad was your brain? Because I know when you first came wanted my help, I think class was starting like next week. Or
right.
Something.
Right. Yeah. So
I got to have my brain, man. How can I get my brain back?
Exactly, and that was one of the reasons that maybe go ahead and reach out. I was like, I got to figure something out because, like, when it first happened, like, well, this is August. It happened in June. So by the time I get to August, I've been experiencing all this, and class was getting ready to start back for the fall, and I couldn't focus and concentrate for longer than 10 minutes. Like it would just exhaust me. I couldn't, my mind was just foggy. I just couldn't, I was like, God, I'm not going to be able to do my job. Usually you think if you have a physical job and you get injured, I have the type of job where I could break my leg and still do it, but I can't,
Mind.
right. And so, I was really, really concerned because I couldn't even focus for longer than 10 or 15 minutes. It was just exhausting, just the fatigue, just to concentrate. It was difficult to concentrate on a task. I've never experienced anything like this before in my life.
Yeah.
So.
And tell the audience now. So we've been working with you. We did a bunch of stuff. We did a big workout. We did the blood, we did food sensitivity, and then we did mold. And guess what? Guess what Carrie has?
Right.
Mold, right? I mean, it's just like,
yes.
I find such a huge connection now with this mold. And I do think that the mold sits in people's bodies and then they get flax and it causes leaky gut, and bam, all of a sudden this mold is a huge problem. And this is actually, we determined that the mold was actually a past exposure because you're living in like a fairly new construction house, right?
Right. Yeah. I recently moved. So, but I was surprised when I looked at the numbers, when you shared the numbers with me, like it was astronomical. I think normal was 200 or something like that. And I was at 2,000.
Yeah.
It's no telling how long this has been going on. And that's something I was thinking about. I've been just reflecting on just the whole process with you, Dr. Hugh, that even if someone hadn't been floxed, like this has changed my entire lifestyle. Like, and there's so many things I was doing that were wrong as far as diet and things like that. Like even things that you think that's okay to eat, things like that. And, it's just, I think everybody should go through the consultation and have an expert guidance on how to fix their diet and see what's going on with their labs. Because the labs that I'm someone who goes every year and sometimes, every 6 months, because, I have to watch my cholesterol and things like that because of the diet that I've been terrible on for like 40 years. And the workups that they give you, that my family practitioner gives me it's not adequate. They don't, they check your cholesterol, your blood pressure, and, if you have like pre-diabetes, and then they tell you, hey, make sure you're eating right and exercising.
Yeah.
Hey,
take oatmeal and stuff like that. We found so much stuff on your labs. I think you're like pre-diabetic. Then you have like high insulin levels and chronic inflammation. I didn't review your lab before the call, so I can't remember everything, but it was definitely a lot of stuff there. And then we just started going through the protocol, the supplements and the dietary changes and the mold protocol, and bam, you're recovered. So tell the Floxy community now, like how your life is now compared to just like say, when we first started.
Right. It's been a month and a half, like almost 2 months. So less than 2 months. I totally changed the diet. Some of the supplements I needed to start taking to try to get the mitochondria back, try to, decrease the mold issue. And totally, like literally every single issue I had has subsided except one. Like, so no more tingling, pins and needles in the feet and fingertips, no more pain in the ankles, anything like that. The rapid heartbeat has subsided. Everything.
What about your GI issue? You had some GI things going on too.
Yeah, I think, I'm speculating again. I'm not a doctor. I'm a historian, but I think, like it's crazy. I think that's probably what started the whole thing. I think the abdominal pain that I went to the doctor initially for, I think it probably has, because I haven't experienced that since I changed the diet and everything. So none of that's an issue. I did I'm still doing the hydrochlor.
The ACL challenge, yeah.
Yeah, I still do that. So I'll do about 6 pills before every meal. If I'm eating something a little heavy like meat or something like that. I'm like 90%. I won't say clear because I think this is something I'm gonna have to do because my diet was trash.
There's always some maintenance involved, right? Everyone has to do maintenance, right? Yeah,
but I feel. Go ahead.
I think that was key, like the whole gut protocol, the mold protocol, the anti-inflammatory supplement program, the mitochondria program, just the lifestyle things. I mean, it's all adds up. And like, I just talked to you, I think yesterday, I'm like, dude, can you do a testimonial, man? Because this is like crazy on the success story that you're actually getting, and people can relate to that.
Yeah, I didn't think, not that I doubted you, I didn't know you, but I was thinking, like I said, maybe this is just I'm never going to get better. You know, like,
Yeah.
because all the doctors and, I mean, they just, I guess it's something that didn't come up on their radar. I don't know. Like I won't say they would dismiss it. They were just like, oh, the tests aren't showing anything. The EKG is not showing anything really. Like the CAT scan's not showing anything. Even went to a neurologist. I visited a neurologist, and he was like, well, he had me do some tests in the office, and he said, well, I don't think we need to do a MRI right now. And he subscribed some medication, and I could tell you what the name of it is.
I mean, it's probably just like a pain medication or something, or what?
Yeah, he said that he thought that the
You have a pen.
that the muscles need to relax.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean
under stress.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with those guys is they only have so many tools, and Floxies are scared to go to those guys or gals because that's how they got damage to start with for some kind of antibiotic thing that they didn't even have to start with.
One thing it does do, it makes you cautious of medication. Like, I just wish I had read up on the Levaquin before I took it. It has a black box warning from the FDA. I mean, This is dangerous stuff, man. I can't tell anybody what to take or what not to take, but I'd never take anything like that ever again. But I'm glad I was able to find you, Dr. Hugh. I was just searching, like I was like Googling, and trying to see if anybody else had any experience with what I was going through. It's like I know I couldn't be the only one. And so,
yeah, for sure. Did you go on YouTube then? Is that how you kind of found me? Is this my YouTube videos?
I think I found you. I think through Facebook. I think the Google must connect it to my Facebook, and the ads or something.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
I saw one of the videos, or maybe I found a group. I think maybe it was a group, a Flox group, and somebody mentioned you in the group, and so I went through to your Facebook page and kind of looked.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Well, what would you want to say here, Carrie, to the Floxy community? What kind of gems you want to put out there to the community, and because at the end of the day, like people are going to see this. People are going to see this video, and they're going to be in the same situation that you were. What's the last kind of like gems you want to throw out to these folks?
Well, if I had one thing, if I could, say, I think the one thing I would want somebody to have told me, when I was in the dark place, in the bad place, is like, there is a possibility to get better, because I know you feel like this is, God, I can't even describe it. You feel like you're never going to get better, and like it's attacking your whole body and everything. And nobody, family members, your typical doctor that you go to, nobody understands. So it feels like a very lonely, like hopeless process, position that you're in. And so my one piece of advice was like, don't lose hope. Like get help. Like reach out to Dr. Hugh or someone that understands this stuff and that can help you. And it's very specific. Like, your situation has to be tailored to you and your chemistry and what happened to you and all that. So you got to be disciplined to follow the protocol and change your lifestyle in order to get better.
Yeah, that's the key thing. One thing with functional medicine, I have the saying is where there's help, there's hope. So all my videos, where there's help, there's hope, and all these things are customized, tailored programs, man. It's just like teaching students. Each student learns a different way. Like you can't come in and just have one format for everybody because you're going to be missing a bunch of people that maybe don't have that exact style, right? So like you got to come in with a very specific plan geared towards your custom needs. And once you do that, this is when you can actually experience the recovery of Flox to healing. And it just takes like directions. I would say like my expertise is I can look at a case and I can take out the time and I can say, okay, let's do A, B, C, and D to recover you. Where like if Carrie's out there searching on the internet, blah, 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 all these groups, which I think they're good, but there's no specific direction.
Well, I disagree with you there, Dr. Hugh. The groups, you said, I don't like the groups. I had to get away from the groups and stuff, man, because it can get depressing, because some people in some of the groups haven't found help, and so they're just.
Yeah, let me clarify that. What I was referring to is on the groups is there's no specific plan for that person. Let me just clarify that. So there's no specific like A, B, C for these people to get better. So they're scattered all over the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. One thing I think that's good about it, like it instills discipline in you. You know, what you're going through, you want to get better so bad. You know, someone had asked me like last year to hey, you know, why don't you go on this paleo keto diet with me? You know, I may have done it for like a day or two and like, the heck with this and stuff, man. You know, like now it's like I don't deviate from the plan. You know,
Yeah,
so,
right. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to be healthier
right.
than before you were Flox, because now you have a realization of all this stuff and like, wow, this is what I was doing all this stuff that wasn't congruent with Mother Nature, and these are the things I think that can make your body more susceptible to like being flaxed.
It's been 2 months, Dr. Hugh, and I've lost about 17 pounds.
Wow.
Right. So that tells you how trash my diet was before. You know, and I'm not eating, like I'm eating, but I'm just eating appropriately. And so it was just, before it's just pizza, like grab a burger, you know, on the way home from work or whatever, you know, just whatever, you know, just a candy bar, you know, sitting in the office just eating, you know, snacks or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're right. It helps you in so many other ways outside of just recovering from the medication. I think I'm going to be healthier overall in the long run than I was
Yeah, I
before.
want you to know, man, you look really good. You got a good complexion. Your skin looks good. You got good facial tone. I mean, you look really good, Carrie. So congratulations on all the hard work.
Thank you for all your help, man. Like I said, anybody that listen, I'm telling them about you. Like I'm saying, hey, if you have any issues, you need to reach out. So.
All right, cool, man. Well, I appreciate your getting on the video and helping someone. Any last words that you want to say to the community?
Guys, just hang in there. Don't lose hope. Get help. You can get better. I believe you can get better. I've gotten better, like in less than 2 months, like 100 times better. So
Yeah.
hang in there.
And, you know, God put the most amazing healing power in every one of our bodies, and that's what you want to acknowledge. And where there's help, there's hope. So thanks, Carrie, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.